This is Keep the Faith Ministry News. I'm Hal Mayer. The district's public school system is slated to become among the first in the nation to let families select non-binary rather than male or female when indicating the gender of their child on enrollment forms. The option is scheduled to go into effect for the next school year, and school system leaders said it is part of a broader effort to ensure that transgender and non-binary students feel welcome in classrooms in the nation's capital. We value the whole child at DC Public Schools and have worked diligently to ensure our schools are safe and inclusive for all students, staff, and families, Interim Chancellor Amanda Alexander said in a statement. Whether through policies, programs, affinity groups, or our enrollment forms, DC Public Schools is proud to be a leader in affirming, supporting, and welcoming LGBTQ students. The change comes as the Trump administration has made efforts to limit the federal recognition of transgender people, with the Education Department abandoning Obama-era guidelines that directed public schools to accommodate transgender students. In the fall, the Oregon Department of Education unveiled school enrollment forms that allowed families to select X if their children do not identify as male or female. In Minneapolis, the public schools have a way for families to let administrators and teachers know if children do not identify as male or female. Students can also inform the school system if they go by a name other than their given name. Non-binary is a term used for people who do not consider their gender identities strictly male or female and can include transgender people. The DC enrollment forms will allow teachers to know which students in their classrooms identify as non-binary without families having to inform them. School officials said collecting data on how many students identify as non-binary will ensure that the school system has enough resources available for those students, including access to gender-neutral bathrooms and extracurricular activities. Joel Baum, Senior Director of Professional Development for Gender Spectrum, an advocacy organization focused on gender inclusivity, particularly in schools, said that school systems throughout the country have been discussing ways to include in their databases students who do not identify as male or female. He said some jurisdictions face logistical hurdles when attempting to add a third gender option to enrollment forms because their computer systems can categorize students only as male or female. The change in the district's enrollment forms sends an important message to all families, not just those with non-binary children, said Baum. It's an opportunity without being arrogant or obnoxious to show that we support the gender diversity of all our kids, Baum said. Every family is going to interface with it, and that communicates something pretty significant. In 2017, the district introduced gender-neutral driver's licenses, which allowed residents to choose among male and female and X as their gender. The treatment of transgender children in schools has been a contentious political issue in recent years. Transgender students throughout the country have sued local governments for denying access to the bathroom of the gender with which they identify. There's been an enormous sea change in how many kids identify this way, said Eliza Bayard, Executive Director of GLSEN, an LGBT advocacy organization that works on education issues. This is one of those seemingly small changes that makes an enormous difference. Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. That's Luke 17, verses 28 and 30. This is Keep the Faith Ministry News. Thank you for watching.